live. Hey, I didn't even realize it had started. My face is starting to feel fat. That means I'm getting better. I'm like eating still. Not fat. Maybe I just pulled my ponytail back too tight. I think that's it. You shouldn't do that. Makes your hair break off. So we're gonna watch my hair dry. I just got out the shower because I just got back from moving my car and only being slightly trafficked for like 2 minutes instead of an hour or two, 3 hours. Um, but I all of my lives I don't do nothing is scripted. Everything is hot stinky breath. That's I can smell my breath right now. It's bad. Um, so let's talk about tonight. What happened? I believe it has everything to do with witness intimidation. I can say that. Um, Witness intimidation and a network trying to portray me as the bad guy, right? But not really. So here's just a little bit into my thoughts on what the harassment is. Right now, V2K, upstairs neighbors, whoever it is, I believe it's a new upstairs neighbor who is stalking me. Uh, they have, um, they've assumed the position of master stalker, I guess. And what I hear right now is the same script that I've heard probably 10, 15, 20 times by different tenants and different people around me, different informants, different criminal informants. So I don't know where exactly the voice is coming from, but it sounds like it's coming from upstairs or a speaker that's within my ceiling. Um, what I want to say is it seems ultra desperate. And the reason I say that is because here are the circumstances around it. The people in my building, and I can say this because it's true, without naming any specific names, have been conspiring, at least since 2022, to force me to move out. And they want it to look like I am the aggressor. They want it to look like that's part of their necessity for a voice file. So what the upstairs voice has just let me know is they only get paid when they get a voice file, which is why there's always people surrounding me right when I enter or exit the building, because the voice file is also assisted by like the outfit that I'm wearing and the direction that I'm headed. That's the three things that they're reporting when I leave. That's the reason why from the time that I open my door until the time that I get back home, life is hectic. It's not hectic for me. I have no problem talking about things out in the open. I'm not bothered anymore, especially after seeing people hang out by the trash can tonight. That leads me to believe it's very desperate or there is a possible sense of danger, but I'm not going to change my life based on fear. I don't live in fear. If you look at my shirt, I'm a very happy person. Good vibes only. So what that means is exactly what it says it is. There's so many things I want to cover in this. So I've discovered that Drake Real Estate Management has at least 2 other recent lawsuits where the tenants claim habitability issues, including bad plumbing that doesn't get fixed, mold, rodents, rats. That's rodents, right? What's the other one? Pests, roaches. So all of those things are problems that can be caused by someone who just refuses to fix plumbing. I don't know what their cases are, but I do know that at least one of them was able to turn theirs into a civil suit. A civil rights lawsuit. I would also like a civil rights lawsuit because I'm Black and Japanese. I don't know what the other tenants look like, but I feel like especially after the chicken finger that floated up in my bathtub, I feel like a lot of my harassment, well, it's designed to make me be the aggressor. So what they are expecting when my bathtub overflows with like a chicken finger, they want me to start screaming about it in the hallway. Because then that creates a hostile environment for everybody. Then they can really kick me out. So they continue to do these. I can't tell you how many times my bathroom's been flooded. I can, and I've actually documented them here. So many times. My kitchen sink has, and that's like, I don't put anything in the cabinets right now. I'm in the process of moving everything out the cabinets, and I'll be throwing it away. But that's why people are waiting at the trash can. They're trying to dig my stuff out the trash. So I'm forced to like break shit because I don't want anyone to benefit. You're not going to sell any utensils. That's what I was thinking about earlier. I'm going to throw out like 5 good OXO utensils. Black rubber. I don't use black rubber utensils. It's like when I made the switch to glass like mason jar glasses, drinking glasses, over plastic cups. I don't drink out of plastic cups. I have maybe like a handful of plastic cups. Coffee cups, they're for travel, and they're for me to not care if I end up having to throw it out. So I don't drink off of plastic. I drink off of glass. I understand that black plastic utensils are some of the dirtiest as far as when they're manufactured. So that's something that I'll be removing from my life. Like I said, everything that you do to me improves my life. It's not torture if I know how to work it. So I claim witness intimidation because if they are able to make me jobless, carless, homeless, then they can claim that I did financial crimes that they actually did. Right? Places that I've worked for. Right now, I have no reason for financial crimes. I live paycheck to paycheck, but my bills are paid. I currently don't have to borrow money from anybody except for the car loan. But I don't, and my mom. I don't have to borrow money from people. I don't use credit. I don't even use a firm, really. I don't use a firm because they've made it impossible for me to get my credit cards. So just recently, I filed a temporary change of address because they wouldn't let me put the permanent change of address through. And that I was able to complete that. But for whatever reason, they don't want you to use a debit card to complete it. So you actually have to use a credit card to complete it. I don't know why it didn't work when I filed it in person at the post office. You don't get a confirmation when you do it at the post office. So I should have tried again to do it a long time ago. But I just recently got it done. So now I can go and request my own debit cards so that I can use my own money instead of having to spend my mom's money. I'm still going to be paying her, but I need to have control over my own finances. I don't know who has those 3 debit cards. It was 2 for my bank and 1 for PayPal. And I was supposed to get them. PayPal told me I was supposed to get them in April. I think the other ones I was supposed to get in February and March. I was outside. And then I came inside. You thought I was outside like they made me homeless? That's what they're trying to make me think. Maybe even if they do tomorrow, I'll never be outside. I have a car. I have a mom for now, you know? So you're not going to make me homeless per se. That's homeless by choice. Homeless because that's the only way I can get away from energies like, not like you, but homeless because it's the only way I can get away from materialistic energy. For somebody to say that they're going to make you homeless, that's not going to get a voice file or a reaction out of me, because when I view homeless people, they are some of the happiest people. So I will just say cheerio and then go take my homeless ass on my way wherever it is that I have to go, if that were to be the case. if I were to make a lot of money, like say my sister, I think she makes somewhere in the 200,000s, right? Now, whereas before, there were times where she didn't have a job. I have, and not to be like comparing, but I'm just saying as far as who's more likely to be a criminal, I've been gainfully employed since I was 15 years old. Gainfully employed since I was 15, and I made money, just extra money. Um, oh my gosh, I'm like falling asleep halfway. I have to get up soon. I have to go to work, but I also still have quite a bit of cleaning to do because they're coming to do their inspection tomorrow. The management company that refuses to fix the plumbing issues. So we'll see what happens tomorrow, if they do good on their promises or if they just add more bullshit to the bullshit. But like I said, every time you guys mess with me, my life improves. So, if that's the point, that's the point. I came on here to talk about the psychology of this. I'm going to bring my phone closer because my arm's getting tired. I'm getting sleepy. But I want to talk to you about the psychology of this. I was explaining that when a new tenant comes along, it's like Groundhog's Day, and we start over on their script from day one. I guess that's maybe what it says in their script. Day one. Everybody. It's different kinds of attacks, and they're supposed to be attacks on your mental, but instead I've just now rewritten the book that they're using to harass me because of a thing called reverse engineering. So if you're always asking why, it's very easy to reverse engineer anything if you always ask why. So for example, when they're telling me, and we're coming in your apartment anyway when you're gone, they want me to start thinking this is the reason why they're telling me that. The reason why I'm being harassed with people telling me that they're breaking in or doing whatever to my apartment is because they want me to think about what is in my apartment that's valuable. So they do all these little verbal, wordy harassments, and that's what I mean by they can read your brain waves, is they do the wordy harassments, they try to make you think of what it is that you have that is valuable, and then they will go and break into your house, or they'll try to figure out a way to use psychology to make you come up out of it. And if they can't use psychology, they can use black mold. So, here's like an example of what happened in my building because they're losing their patience, right? Their hourglass has run out of time. What happens is, since 2022, back when I still worked at Louis Brisbois, I got wrongfully terminated from Louis Brisbois in 2024. I'm gonna take my socks off because my feet are too hot. So in 2022, I had complained to the management company, and I believe Drake took over in like 2018, 2019, 20. I don't know exactly when it was that they took over, but they took over, and in the process of having the estoppel get signed, $1,000 was taken off of my account because when I moved in with first, last, and security. So I should have $2,000 on my account as far as my security deposit. There's only $1,000, if that, which is my last month. Which would be my last month's if I were to use it for that. There's supposed to be $2,000. It's very similar to when I went to the smoke shop and I had a $20 bill, right? He thought, like, someone out there is keying about the $1,000 that they think that they got from me. They didn't, because I'm gonna get it back. Someone out there is keying about this $1,000 that they took from me, and they're trying to continue to sleight of hand me. But it's never a sleight of hand when you think the way that I think. So, for example, there was a day when an ATM had a message that made me read the message instead of take my money out of the ATM. And I walked away without taking my money out. How stupid, right? Like, I took my bank card back. I didn't take the money. So I don't know how that happens, because usually you have to take the money, then you get your card, maybe. I don't know. So anyways, the ATM flashed the message. I read the message. I walked away. I lost $200. They're trying to get me for 10. It's not that I have so much money I don't know what to do with it. It's that I don't put a high value on money. When you don't value money, it comes to you so easily. So easily that you don't have to be greedy or stingy with stuff. I want to see people prosper. So like, for example, today I was provided lunch from my employer. And it was extremely nice of them to do. And they did it just because I do my job. I don't know if there's alternative motives, but just because I do my job. And I have come accustomed to holding, because in the past I've received less than what I consider to be standard service. It's just like people who don't want to do their jobs. I'm going to put on a little jacket really quick because I have on these underwear that have holes in it. Oh, we'll talk about my underwear in a minute. There are people who don't do their jobs. They deliver substandard service. And then, oh, I want to also show you, like, for the people who think, because I make jewelry, that there's like a bunch of jewelry in here. There's not. This is the jewelry that I make. This is sterling silver wire wrapped jewelry. This is something I made probably 20 years ago. And it's just gemstones I bought off of like downtown LA or in the alley, downtown LA, the alley, or eBay. So there's people over here watching stuff that like the black, let's go back to the black mold. Because they couldn't get it in my apartment by me, like they couldn't force it to take over my apartment with anything that I've been doing in here. That's the reason why it has appeared in the hallways. Because I have a dehumidifier. So they're trying every which way to get the mold spores into my apartment so it can take over all of my belongings. And they have, based on what I saw tonight, the man that was hanging out there so desperately, they have people who are waiting by the trash can to see what it is that I'm throwing away. I'm throwing away nothing because I caught the mold in time to fix it. I've lived here 11 years and never needed to have an air conditioner. The reason I have to have an air conditioner now is because it's a conspiracy and they gave me mold. My apartment, even before my dehumidifier, albeit had dust, I didn't know that mold takes a hold of dust, right? If I had known that before, there would never ever be any dust in here. So I've had to find that out through walking through the building and having all of that shit come in and affect my apartment. Because I'm Japanese, so as messy as I am, and this is the fucking truth, as messy as I am, ingrained in me since I was a kid, are means and ways of cleaning and keeping your stuff clean enough to survive without like bacteria. And another thing is I am, but they believe that I have less control over it than I do. They think that the germaphobe is going to prevent me from being able to function in this environment. Like, they don't understand how I'm still able to do all the shit that I have to do. And like, even right now, I should be sleeping. I'm wide awake because their desperation is I'm so curious about it. The realization that the water situation that's been created in my apartment for at least the last 4 years is the result of somebody, I believe, who's already gotten in trouble, and they're looking for a scapegoat because this person who's already gotten in trouble is a person that has high position, high power, or they're just like narcissistic and they think that torturing people is fun and they're going to get away with it. It's not torture if you improve my life. How stupid is that? How stupid. I hope you feel so stupid. I hope you're kicking yourself in your face. I hope you kick all your teeth out. Like, torturing a light being is always going to make you feel worse, especially if you're doing so as part of a conspiracy. Because what is a conspiracy? A conspiracy to me is people who would not survive on their own. And when I say that, I mean what I saw at the trash can tonight. Two people wearing clean shirts. They have a car that costs more money than mine, guaranteed, I'm pretty sure. They may own their car, but they definitely take pride in keeping it clean. And they're out here trying to take my stuff out the trash can. How do I know? It's not speculation. Who puts the lock? Nobody locks this trash can, first of all. We have a lock on it. I pay $30 a month to have my trash taken out. I'm a minimalist. It's pack in, pack out, right? There's certain food that I don't buy at Costco because it's individually packed. And I'm like, that's a waste. I don't want to throw that much trash away. I would rather get something very big, package it myself, or just eat it in its bulk packaging. So when I noticed this person this is like the second or third time I've noticed this person very adamantly watching me throw my trash away. That's desperation. It's nothing but desperation. This person, I don't know if they live here or are friends with people who live here, but they have a fascination with whatever it is I'm throwing in the trash. Maybe they're trying to steal DNA, fingerprints, whatever. Their presence no longer bothers me. It's not going to make me have an angry voice file or a crash out. They're not going to have me make a scene. I'm laughing at them while I'm individually picking out each piece of trash from my trash bag and throwing it in the trash as far as I could put it. Making sure they see, like, some of this stuff, it's good hair product, but it's not. Because if you understand how mold works, right? Like they think they do, I guess, because this is it feels like they do this often. If they understand how mold works, they would understand that if there's any crack in the seal, mold is eating the moisture from inside of the bottle. Do you get it? So none of that hair product, right? It's 12-year-old hair product that had a 12-month shelf life, which means the entire time that I've lived here, that shit has been no good. I've lived here 11 years, right? So 12 years ago, what's that? 2024, 2 years after I graduated cosmetology school. I graduated cosmetology school in 2012 after taking 1,600 hours of classes and a state board examination, and I had to send my juvenile record in all motherfucking however many inches, 3 inches, 5 inches, however thick that stack was. I had to send that in with an essay explaining why I deserve to be licensed and why I'm not a criminal anymore. So I don't know if that is something that added to me getting flagged, but what ended up as the result of that situation, and this is what I mean by, as much as you guys think you're playing me, there's somebody out there that's watching you watch me. The cosmetology school that I went to closed down. Why? They found fraud. That cosmetology school has been around for 100 or so years. I had nothing to do with it closing down. And if I did, it's because the people who have access to my brainwaves, access to my thoughts, access to whatever of me it is, they're the ones who shut that shit down because they're trying to make me unhappy. Joanne used to be one of the only places that I went to. They shut that shit down. Marinello is the hair school that I graduated from. I guess in order to erase any of my records of cosmetology licensing, they shut the school down. They can't shut down the DCA. I am a fucking licensed cosmetologist. Department of Consumer Affairs. So, anyways, if you're stalking me and clocking me, fact check. Before you call me a crackhead, fact check on that shit. My teeth are like this, and I used a PPO to go to the dentist that I chose of my liking. And this is how my teeth ended up. Fact check that shit before you go around and spread rumors saying that I do drugs. Fact check that shit. I paid actually $2,000 to have my teeth look like this. I still owe him $2,000 because he made a bridge, but I have a feeling that it wouldn't have been a good experience given what I'm working with right now. So I would rather wait and just like go on a day when everything I think will get fixed right. What else? I'm trying to think of the other things that they do. The blocking at the door. Tonight I have a video of me being trafficked at the door. A lot of people don't understand. They're telling them, you just got to make her wait. See how long you can make her stay outside. We'll pay you for however long you make her wait for. They don't understand that the bleach is on its way. Like, not what I mean by, you can't make me wait. It like trying to control the inside, like make me think that you're in my apartment, or make me have a crash out, make me have you know, it's gonna get cleaned up. You're gonna get, all of this is getting cleaned up right now. Somebody is watching you watch me. So what I mean by the bleach is on the way, they cleaned up the fraud at Marinello. Wash that shit out. Should I say barbicide? That's another thing I have. I have barbicide. Before I realized this was black mold, and I just thought like, man, this is mold. I don't know what it is. I know this is not dust. I was cleaning with barbicide. I cleaned my floors with barbicide. Barbicide's a concentrate. I still have plenty of it. But vinegar is a lot cheaper. Barbicide's like, I don't know how much that bottle, between 20 and 40 bucks. I have a larger size bottle of barbicide. I also have small bottles that are 12 or something years old. The large bottle is brand new. No, not brand new. It's like 2 or 3 years old now. But I have barbicide, old makeup brushes. I have a whole bunch of old school tools that I would like to organize, I guess you could say. And everybody seems to be watching my shit, and they think that giving me the mold is going to make me start throwing away my personal belongings. I realize, listen to how nasty this is. I realize that my underwear, where I used to store my clean underwear, is the reason why my coochie stinks. Isn't that funny? And I'll tell you why. My cat has identified, I think she's a very good service cat. She will go and alert on mold. So she has been, for the last 2 or 3 days, alerting me that there's mold in this one specific cabinet by fucking sitting in it, and I hate that. Like, cat, you have fucking fur. Why are you sitting on... But she's alerting me. That's what she's doing. When she lays down in an awkward place, like in my bathroom or in my kitchen, she's alerting me to where the mold is. So when she's laying in my bathroom, there's a few places that she likes to lay. One of them is the space between my bathtub and the kitchen, not the kitchen, the bathroom sink. She'll just flop down there. She'll sleep in there. That's one of the reasons why I have to close her crate at nighttime with her in it, is because I don't want her sleeping in the moldy bathroom. I don't know, I have to look this up, why it is that she likes to go sleep in these areas, but what I chalk it up to is she's doing her service to me and letting me know where the most dangerous places in my apartment are. I know where the cleanest place is, because that's where she used to go and sleep. But now she is going to the places, I guess maybe the spore count is so high in my apartment. She's going to the spaces where the mold is because there's no airflow over there. I noticed she didn't come out all day. She was in her safe space or she was in the mold space. But the second I turned the fan on, I saw her. She came out. She said, oh, fuck your fan. So I guess my cat is really sensitive, and she's kind of telling me how to navigate through it. So one of the reasons I have the fan on is because the fan has a HEPA filter on the back of it. So even if there's multiple HEPA filters in here, even if it's kicking up dust, anything that I have that has a fan that's moving has a HEPA filter on the back of it. And that is doing more better than me just walking around with the fucking mold spores, in my opinion. Like right now, on the back of my air conditioner, there's 2 filter spots, a large one and a little one, that outtake the intake, whatever. And both of them have additional HEPA filters to make sure that whatever it is gets caught before it goes into the filter that's on the machine. Because I'm not trying to pass, it's going to be there. Mold spores are tiny. But I'm not trying to pass mold spores through the exhaust system of my air conditioner. I would actually I may put a filter on the end of the exhaust just to make sure that it's containing anything that is being burned off. So I'm not too sure if you guys are going to be successful at your plans. Right now, what I am sure of, I'm pretty sure I have this is a cyst on my ankle. It's like a rock hard cyst. I'm gonna drink more water. I don't know how much that's gonna help, but I've been feeling my ankle for like the last week, and I couldn't understand why it hurts so bad. I think this is a cyst on my ankle, which means something like my blood's not filtering something. I don't know. I have to figure out what this is, but it's not uncommon because I had a matching one on the other ankle. So as this grows and becomes more annoying, I will eventually have to go through a surgery. So I don't know if they found a way to make cysts occur. Maybe it has something to do with the mold. But I definitely, my right ankle used to be my good ankle. It now has a cyst on it. And I'm positive today because it feels like a lumpy rock. It feels like a lumpy rock over my ankle bone. And it's like attached to a vein. So there's that. There's health problems that are arising now from the conditions of this building. My foot, because I walk barefoot, it's in constant contact with the wood floor. I believe my subfloor is coated in the black mold. That's how they're able to force mold into my apartment. The only machine that I have with the filter that doesn't have HEPA filter on it is the dehumidifier. The dehumidifier is like growing black hair out of the filter. It's not quite mold, but it's definitely a dark black dust. And I clean it. I do often clean it. Every time I see it, it makes me disgusted. I'll clean it. But that thing really is a little engine that could. That is the reason why it's not worse than it is. But it's pretty bad. It's just not too visible. The only reason I really notice it is because my cat is acting differently. I have to keep her in her crate, which may not even be the best place because mold has settled on her crate. I have to change her blankets right now, actually. And I need to get up and go do that. But right now, I'll tell you what I have going on. I have silica in my oven that I'm dehydrating at 250 degrees. It's supposed to take 2 hours. Sometimes it takes longer because it really is getting saturated very well. So the silica, I am cooking the silica so that I can put it back in my polypropylene boxes so that it controls humidity within the box and keeps my blankets from getting moldy. It's going to keep my clothes from getting moldy and whatever else. I have paper, I have ink, just those things. And I think the people are standing by the trash can because they think that my apartment is worse than it is. They think that I'm going to be throwing stuff out, but I know how to clean mold off of things. So long as your humidity is low and it's just dust, you just clean it. It's like normal cleaning. It becomes a problem when humidity is 50% or more. That's how I noticed it. It was a day when humidity was over 50%. So I have a humidity monitor. For anybody who doesn't know or hasn't seen it, it's 48%, 84 degrees, 199 ppb. That can go as low as like 3 or 7. But right now, 199 is probably because I have the oven on. And oven's off gassing, whatever silica's off gassing, something is. And that's what, if I bring this closer to the kitchen, it will probably get higher. But that saves pretty much all of my clothes that are in the plastic boxes. I'm probably maybe gonna lose the clothes that are on hangers unless I get them in the plastic boxes because of their proximity to where some of the bad mold was. But right now, even I'm sitting in front of the curlers. I'll show you. I'll show you because I like showing you what my apartment looks like now. That I know that you guys all think I'm nasty and I'm not. So, this right here. This, when I bought it, I think I spent $100, maybe a little more than $100. It doesn't look that bad right now, right? Well, when I took it out of the IKEA fabric box that I had in the Calyx unit, it was covered in black dust. And I'm like, that's really strange because this was in a drawer. How is this covered in dust? That's what made me look up, why is there mold in my IKEA Calyx unit? Something like that. And then one of the things, I started using AI, I told you. It asked me if I stored hair products in there. And sure enough, at the bottom of that basket was a bunch of hair products. But that's not what caused it. There had to have been a wild mold spore that got in to that area where there's no circulation. There is a prime environment for it to grow. That mold spore, I believe, got there by way of the flooding of my bathtub and the flooding of my bathroom. That's what created the moist enough environment for the mold to grow ever so slowly over my belongings in that drawer. And it was growing because it was eating the oils out of, like, I haven't checked these rollers. I will check a roller. Like right now, even if you look closely, you can still see a little bit right there on the top. I didn't get all the way in there. Just when I wiped it with the vinegar paper towel, that shit came out black. I said, oh my gosh, I gotta throw this thing away. And then I did research and it's not that bad. I have a UV light. Look, it really is just the surface shit. There's nothing on here that's ruined. I don't have to get rid of this. Namely, because these things each heat up to like 200 or something degrees on their own. So really, all I need to do, another thing is the cord is dirty. All I need to do is vinegar clean the cord the best I can. Soak these 30 minutes in vinegar so that it can penetrate deep enough to kill whatever roots think that they've grabbed onto the plastic. And then I can put it back in a drawer that's not sitting with hair oils. So you cannot blame me for the mold problem when there are active leaks within my apartment. You cannot blame me for the mold problem when I know that the carpet has been soaked as a means of forcing mold inside of my unit. The reason that it took so long, that they've had to soak that carpet for so long, is because I don't wear shoes in my apartment. These are house shoes. And that's not, well, it might be mold, but that is, you're only able to see, they used to be fully covered in the glitter. But because I've been using vinegar and just cleaning and cleaning, I sprayed everything. I've washed these before, like actually in the bathtub. So the glitter has come off and it looks funky now. They're so hot, I don't want to wear these anymore, but it's shearling, it's sheepskin. I really think that if I were to have to wear a pair of shoes in the house, this is the best one, right? I can't, the only thing that sucks is black. I can't tell if that's mold or if that's just the color of the shoe. But anyways, back to this thing. So this thing's like $100. I have a printer from when I was in high school. If we talk about high school, it's more than 20 years ago. It was 25 years ago now almost. That has maintained its value because it's a fucking Canon printer. So there are people who are selling it anywhere between $9 and $150. So between these two items, there's more. Like I had other non-heated rollers that I threw out. I threw out anything pretty much that I got in my cosmetology kit 12 years ago. So it's things that don't really matter to me. I threw it all out. And then I came across this and I'm like, well, I bought this for a reason because it's the largest one. It has every single fucking roller size. And I want to keep this. Like, even if I don't plan to use it really, I'll use it on a wig. I'll use it on something. Oh, you can see too. There's mold right there. Right there, that's mold. Right? And how does that grow when this is closed like this? Right? That's how fucking strong mold is. So I actually threw away the fabric drawer that this was in. And I've realized that when my cat goes back in my closet, she's sitting in the fucking cubbyhole that held the motherfucking this shit. So my cat is literally sitting on mold. That's why she's in her crate right now. She's like voluntarily doing it, which that's why I think she's alerting me. She wants me to go. She is trying to put my attention on that area, right? All day I called her all fucking day. Where are you? Where are you? I looked in her little spot. She's there. She's not there. Where are you? And then after we got home from my walk, she runs straight there. So she wants me to see something there. She's trying to tell me to clean up right fucking there. I think first she wants me to use this. Hold on. I think first she wants me to use this on that. And then I don't give a shit what they come and say tomorrow because I know that it's mold in here. They can't blame me for it because I'm going to go show you right now what that shit looks like. Now, mind you, once I discovered that it was motherfucking mold and I had called... It smells nice in here. Sometimes it stinks, sometimes it doesn't. Once I discovered that it's mold, the county told me not to touch it. They said, don't fucking clean. I'm like, really? Because it's mold. So look, this is in my bathroom. I just barely wiped around the toilet a little bit. It's still kind of dirty. It looks really bad. But they told me not to clean it for 30 days. We're 2 weeks in. That, I believe that's mold that's coming out from the wall or whatever is settled. That's black mold. But it's not growing because my dehumidifier is right on the other side of the wall. But what the problem is right here. If you want to get in back there and look at that. Look at that. You can't tell me you're not going to fix that fucking Drake. And you can't tell me that that's my problem. That's your fucking plumbing. That's your... I'm not a plumber. I have not touched that. I don't turn the water on and off. I don't do that. Only your people that come in when they come to fix my shit do that. And the reason the wall is open like that is because the last time I asked about it, the guy took a piece of metal. I think he took a hammer and just hit it and said, nope, it's fine. You're going to pay for all of the shit that I have to get rid of. You will. So that's why I'm trying my hardest not to get rid of too much shit, because I do understand that some of it is still salvageable. As I go through and keep cleaning, nothing else in my apartment has this fucking shit on it. It's nothing. There's one box of I'm curious to see what the back corner by the window is, because I think that's like another stale air area. But there's one box that I had on my bookshelf that had no cover on it, which is why it makes sense that that stuff had dust on it. I don't know if that dust was necessarily black mold, but pretty much anything that has dust turns into black mold. Um, and that they're not in the same place. There's like not airflow from. It's possible mold spores go anywhere, everywhere, but for it to be as bad as it is, but it's not bad inside my apartment, means that I'm not the fucking dirty mess that you think I am. If you saw the hole that they left in my ceiling for months, like a month, 2 months, we have maintenance records. We can go over the maintenance records. So when you come here tomorrow, be ready to fucking fix this shit. Today. You're coming here today in a few hours. Right? Like right now, I'm going to make my coffee and start my work because you guys want to fuck up my schedule in the middle of the day. It doesn't matter. That's what you have to do. Right? So I'm okay with it. But don't come in here and be like, no, or no, we're going to cite you for this. The reason my apartment is in the condition that it is because I'm doing my best to protect whatever fucking possessions or belongings that I have left. I have only gone to the laundromat once since discovering this fucking, the extent of the fucking mold. Right now I have a basket of the clothes that I've worn since I did laundry, and I have one more bag of laundry that I need to do that may not even be affected because it was prior to humidity rising. So in my 11 years of occupying this apartment, this fucking year, there are enough mold spores in my apartment that the humidity has allowed them to start growing on my shit. So this, I've gone in the drawer. Oh, that's what I also want to say. My underwear and my socks and my bras. This was hair stuff that I put in that fabric box on the bottom of a 4-tier 4x4 calyx unit. So 4x4, how many is that? 16, right? 4, 8, 12, 16. Not all of them are fabric boxes. Some of them are drawers that have a little bit better circulation. But all of the cosmetology stuff, all of my fucking, a lot of it is oils and stuff. That's all food for mold. So I have to go through there and throw that shit out. It's not a big deal. It's all old product. I don't mind. I don't mind throwing that out, and I don't even think I need to like calculate or try to charge you for that shit because it's just old and expired. I'm not fucking greedy. But like this, my buddy, if I gotta throw this shit out, you're paying for that. So I'm gonna try not to. I'm not trying to cost you additional money. I'm not just wasteful. So what else? Realizing that, oh, my cat wants to come out. Realizing that the mold is there. So that's at the bottom. That's the closest to the floor. But it's fabric. It's in a fabric box, which means it's very easy for it to move up one drawer, up 2 drawers. So right above it is my socks. I don't notice anything funky, but I have foot fungus. So the foot fungus is either caused by walking barefoot on a moldy floor that has a moldy sub base, or because it's not my shoes. I wear open-toed shoes. I keep my toes out. I'll show you my feet. They look nasty as fuck. I'm a cosmetologist. That's my feet. I don't even want to touch them. But I wear them out like this because I want the sun to kill anything that's on my motherfucking toes. I need the sun to kill the mold and the bacteria. This is caused because the floor has it. But I don't wear shoes in the house. I wear house shoes. Only in my house. These shoes do not go outside. If they go outside, I get mad and I'll wash them. It doesn't happen. It doesn't really ever happen. I switch my shoes at the door. Right? I switch them at the door. I even wash off my hallway shoes. My hallway shoes get sprayed down when I get home. So my toes are like this, and I wear if you ever see me out, you'll see how nasty my feet look. But you need to have the sun touch it, otherwise it's going to get nastier. Right? Oh, I'll show you my cyst right now. This is a cyst. Where is it? Right here. That is a cyst. This is a cyst in there. And I can't tell you what that's from, but I heard that it could be caused by this. So, pretty sure this right here is growing into a cyst. It's right here. That right there. And you see it? That. It's like a little marble moving in my ankle. It's only going to get bigger. So don't fuck around with me on this. They really want to kill me. We'll see what else. On my wrist, do you see, does that look like it's a worm in my vein? Does that look like it's a worm? You're not getting the right look on it. It looked to me like right there. Is that a worm in my vein? I thought it was a scratch, but every now and then I could feel that shit moving. Right? So I'm showing you all the fucking shit. These are not things that I should have, right? Just because my teeth are like this is caused by trauma. This is not caused by drugs. My teeth are like this because of trauma. But whoever is out there portraying whatever narrative it is of me wants people to think that it's drugs so that they feel good about harassing a drug addict. Makes them feel better about themselves. I will tell you, my teeth ended up like this when I used my PPO insurance to select a dentist in Thousand Oaks, California, because I thought I was going to get better care out there than I would at home. That was where I fucked up. Right? If you live in a community, you should trust your community dentist. I should have gone to the closest dentist. Because I do. I trust my community. My community does good for me, even if it's under the guise of bad, right? Like, my community, the people, maybe there's people that are put in places because they know I'll drink a cold pressed juice over anything, over a soda, right? I'll pay you for that. Good money. That's healthy to me. So I'll just blindly trust people. The Jamaica, blindly trust people. Not Jamaica, the hibiscus, blindly trust people because that's all I can do. If you don't want to do your job, that's your fucking shit. So anyways, earlier when I had discovered that this had mold on it before I had wiped it all down, and I was looking at the printer that I have from when I was in fucking 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th grade, 12th grade, whatever, high school. Between looking at those, I think I paid $300 for the printer brand new, but right now on eBay, anywhere between $9 and $150. This thing's about 80 bucks, 90 bucks. I think I paid 100, 120, I don't know. There's some other stuff that I lost too, so I just threw it away, including the hair product, like $100 worth of hair product. Threw that shit away because that was the cause of the problem. So I texted my mom, and this is how I know that they have, they're watching my phone. That's why I say that this is part of a RICO. That's why I say that this is human trafficking. That is why I say that this should not be happening. There's spyware on my phone. So I know that they love watching my shit. And this is where you guys got yourself fucked up. They like watching my shit, and they think that it's to an advantage. They don't realize maybe that I know that they're watching my shit and trying to meet me everywhere that I go, everywhere that I'm at. So when I went down to the trash, I believe after texting my mom, I lost $500 worth of shit to mold. These people out there who have a nicer car than me and their clothes are cleaner than mine showed up and just stood at the trash and watched everything that I threw away. And because they were watching so hard, and because of the way that the trash can had been set up, and when I talk about set up, I mean somebody locked the trash can and then put the lock inside the trash can because they know me so well. They know I don't want to touch the lid because I'll often go out there with gloves on. Not only did they put the lock in the trash can, uh, whether it's them or someone else who came down afterwards and was just lazy, someone else put trash on top of it. And you could just see like a little bit of trash poking out. So it looks like the bin is completely full, and that's the only way of putting stuff in, is just putting it on top, which is the only way to make it so that trash pickup does not pick up your trash. Because I wanted to throw my stuff away instead of just walking away and like throwing my trash out tomorrow, or I've never ever left a trash bag outside of the trash can. If I cannot throw my trash away, I'll bring it back into my apartment. I'm going to take a picture of the trash can. I'll probably send an email to the management company, but I'm definitely documenting, because I pay $30 motherfucking dollars a month, and if I could only put one trash bag in there in a month, I'm mad about that. So I'm going to make sure, just like the guy who complained about the street light that wouldn't change, I'm going to make sure I document it and do whatever. So there's this. They thought they were going to get this. They thought that I was going to go outside and really throw away something that they could clean up and sell for $500. First of all, this is just the roller set. You don't have the clips. This is worth maybe 10, 15, 20 bucks if you clean it up. If you have the clips, you might be able to get 70 bucks, 60, 70 bucks. You don't have all the pieces. This is stupid. The printer that I have, I cut the power cord on it. I'm making sure you do not get any of my shit. I cut the power cord. If you're an electrician, you can fix it, right? But that's definitely not going to be worth. That's going to be more so worth $9 than $150. You guys are so impressed with the dollar value of things, the dollar amount of things, and you don't realize how much time you waste chasing it. Right? So after I walked away, after hand picking all of the vinegar paper towels out of the bag, right, showing them one by one, this is what I'm throwing away. It's not any of the shit that you thought, right? Stop reading my fucking text messages. You guys read a text message and then sat out there and waited. That's funny. So this is one of the only things that I seen that had a bunch of fucking black mold on it. And I know why, because there was a food source with it. So I controlled that. I went through all of my bins. Right now I'm in the process of replacing the silica in my bins so that my bins don't get out of hand. Bins are on rollers. Rollers allow for airflow. This should not continue to be a problem. So I just have to make sure I get a fan. After I clean up any loose mold spores, I have to make sure that I get a fan and just push the air from one side of there out my door. So what I want to say about my underwear are stored 2 drawers above where I had this thing at. It's no wonder my coochie was funky for the fucking longest time. That whole drawer probably covered in mold. Every time I look for underwear, it's just mold just growing inside of a drawer on my underwear. I don't see it, but when my coochie starts sweating and gets hot, everybody can smell it. You gotta fix this, Drake. I don't know if you saw the toilet handle or the mold that's building on the wall, but that's the sole plate that I think is broken. There's a whole nother side of that. I don't have to show it to you. I don't have to show you my everything. But the other side of that is the spot that I want the county to test. Once Drake says that this is not a problem, they're not going to do anything. Because the other side of it leads to my kitchen, and there's water damage on the ceiling of my kitchen. There's water damage that's going down the wall in my kitchen. You're paying for this. What else? They should be here soon, right? And they're probably gonna make a fuss. They're gonna be like, you didn't have, there's 3 feet. I counted. Pretty much everywhere. It's 3, you can get through 3 feet. Air conditioner has to get moved. That's it. Air conditioner's in the way. But what else? What else? Hold on. I know I'm gonna think of something in a minute. Give me a second. I'm gonna put the UV light back there first before I start trying to clean. So my first course of action is the UV light in the area where my cat wanted to sit. Then I'm going to go in with the vinegar cloth and clean up any loose spores. I may let the vinegar sit, but it is plywood, so it's not really doing much. It's like coated plywood. Not waterproof, but you can wipe it off. It'll be fine. So there's that one section of my closet. I don't have clothes in the drawers. I have gloves. I have gloves in the drawers. I have hats, headbands. When I say gloves, I mean like mittens. I used to live in the snow, right? So one of those drawers is filled with stuff to keep my hands warm. The rest of the stuff is like gel polish that's probably older than half of you. Gel nail polish. I don't paint my nails anymore because that's how you can see if you're healthy or not. What else? I think I'm going to take a quick nap before I have to start work in an hour. But I just wanted you to see that it's not me. You guys are digging through trash for trash. Nothing of mine. That's funny. You're like quite literally digging through trash. If you want to see what size shoes I wear, my foot's big as fuck. Probably bigger than yours, most likely, almost. What else? Oh, I want to finish the story about why the mold is not me. So you saw the place where the guy hit the hammer on the motherfucking toilet thing. So that is actually consists of 2 complaints. I believe I complained about it before. And as they were here fixing whatever the other issue was, I said, oh, please don't forget to check this. And that's when it got hit with the fucking hammer. When they've had their installation team come in and tried to install a tankless water heater that was too large for my unit, they broke my sink faucet and then had the nerve to ask me. The guy's like, oh, how do you turn this on? He wanted me to discover that it was broken while he was there, because that's like narcissistic. They want to see you upset. You didn't get a voice file because I know how to replace the sink. And if I wanted to, I would replace it with the head that I want, not the one that you guys paid for. So everything's always a fucking blessing, bitch. But that's the installation team. Similar to the circle team, it's teams in Los Angeles that don't do shit, but they got like names that they try to force you to recognize. I don't know. I just think that this whole situation is funny. And my most important things right now, I got to change my cat's linens so that she's not sleeping in mold. I got to turn on the UV light so I can clean that little area up. And then I got to continue to make space because they're going to try to say that it's me. And you can't. You cannot deny the motherfucking toilet. You cannot deny the tiles that are shifting. You cannot deny the wood that's cracked and squeaking in my hallway. These floorboards are a good way for any of that stuff to make it into where I kept this right here. It's a good way. It's a very, just like all in all in general, I think that drawer created the perfect situation for me to notice what is happening without it being too bad. To notice enough in time to call the management company to do something about it, because that's what any responsible, any reasonable tenant would do. If you are a tenant in this building and you have mold let's say your mold is worse than mine and you have not called about it yet, you're the problem. You're part of the problem. You're not going to blame me for it because I'm complaining about mine and I'm asking them to fix the underlying water issue. Because until the underlying water issue is repaired, the mold will stay in my apartment. I don't want to give them a voice file. I don't want to argue with them. So we'll see how it goes. But I am definitely going to make sure that I'm not throwing shit away that I need to keep. Have a great night. Morning.